Meat, for many, has become a dirty word. Outbreaks of disease from BSE to foot and mouth have rocked Welsh farming. Consumer confidence has been shaken. But criminals are making matters worse. They're making a fortune by selling unfit meat. Tonight, in a Wales This Week special, the story of the investigator. The criminals he's investigating, and the brand new Welsh anti-crime unit. But first, the human cost of dirty meat. At its worst, dirty meat can kill. In Carmarthen, one family knows the human tragedy of the unfit meat trade. One of their children, Richard Roberts, died of the terrible disease, variant CJD. Tonight, for the first time, his father has agreed to tell Richard's story.
He'd do anything for anybody, help anybody out. He played a bit of rugby for the school and for Carmarthen Quins, under 16s. So he's quite fit, but a nice boy. Always smiling, always had a smile on his face.
Richard earned his pocket money from a part-time job in a local shop.
When I went to the shop one day and asked him for 3 or 4 items, he could only remember the first 2. And I had to repeat myself several occasions. Later on we found that this loss of memory had been going on for some time, but that his girlfriend had been writing notes for him to remind him what he had to do and the like.
They realised Richard was seriously ill and took him to the Heath Hospital in Cardiff. They were told of the suspicion of CJD. Blood tests were sent away for analysis. The family took him home and waited for the results.
A fortnight later, we had the final confirmation that it was variant CJD.
They had to dress him. They had to bathe him.
Couldn't do anything for himself. There was a period when he became violent, but when you knew him, it was not his nature at all.
Richard deteriorated much more quickly than they expected.
They told us when he was diagnosed in around May that he may live until November. His condition deteriorated at stages so badly that it was quite obvious he wasn't going to last that long. And he passed away on the 20th of September 2002. At 18 years of age. It was a horrendous death, and we were all with him when he passed away.
Terry Roberts is a retired detective, and he'd already begun his own inquiries into why his son had died.
The only way you're going to catch it is by eating infected meat. And I think that's what happened in this case. They say the incubation period can be up to 15 years, so that would take Richard back to primary school age, really. And I'm convinced that at that stage, schools were supplied with unfit meat for human consumption. And Richard, unfortunately, was a victim of that practice.
The death of Richard Roberts came after BSE, the foot and mouth outbreak, and many other food scares. They've led to a new initiative to be launched in Wales later this month. A special unit based at Aberaeron has been set up to help fight food criminals. The officers involved will be keeping a sharp eye on the dirty meat trade. The aim is to gather intelligence on all those involved. Up to now, the battle has been fought by individual local councils, often acting alone, either in Wales or London. One of the leading investigators in the London borough of Hackney says the new unit in Wales is desperately needed.
There is tons of unfit meat entering into the human food chain without any public health control, either illegally slaughtered or